I hit the reset button on life 6 months ago, packed 2 suitcases, and flew halfway across the world to move to a country called Oman. So in this video, I'm going to share exactly what it's like living here as an expat. So the first thing I want to touch on is what the lifestyle here is like. A lot of people still think that Oman is living in some caveman era, and that's far from the truth. When a country is sitting on billions of dollars in oil, has the second strongest currency in the world, best believe there is nothing outdated about the country. Oman is a simple country. It just does the basic things very well. The country doesn't rely on tourists for the majority of its income, which in turn makes the overall atmosphere a very calm place. Everyone is doing their own thing. No one's trying to sell you anything. No one's rushing to go anywhere. Everything is just laid back and free flowing. They just overall have a good balance of work life and leisure time. One isn't overpowering the other. It's just perfect. Another major factor that makes the country run so smoothly, in my opinion, is that no one steps out of line and no one crosses no one's boundaries. No road rage, no fighting. You will never catch someone yelling at someone or being rude. Everyone respects the rules and everyone follows the rules. No negotiations and no letting things slide. It will be dealt with and you don't want to be on the receiving end of it. It's the small things that work collectively that make the country great. But there are two things that you will have to adapt to. The first one being the weather. I know we like a little bit of heat, but bro, you ain't ready for this type of heat. In the nighttime, it's nice and cool and chilled. It's still hot though, but during the day, there's times I jump in my car and I can't breathe. But the good thing is everything is air conditioned. The houses, the apartments, the malls, everything. The second thing is their schedule. It's completely different to Europe. The weekends over here are Friday and Saturday. And Friday is not a weekend. That's like international rest day. Don't call no one's phone asking them for nothing. And the working hours are pretty different too. The small brands, they open after Asr until nighttime, about 10, 11 o'clock. And the offices and everything got to do with paperwork, they open from 7 o'clock until about 12, 1 o'clock. That will take some adjusting. So let's get into the cost of living. The money compared to what you actually get here is crazy. People in Dubai pay about £2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment. If you take that same £2,000 and rent over here, you will have a 5-bedroom villa, a garden, a driveway, a maid. They'll throw in a cat in for you if you want. It goes a long way. But on the realistic side, if you want a 1 or 2-bedroom apartment here, it'll cost you around £500 to £600. Townhouses and villas, they can range in about £1,000 depending on what area you live in. As for cars, there's no such thing as a car market crash over here. All the cars hold their value, and the guys over here take good care of them. They treat them better than they treat their kids. I'm joking. One thing I still can't wrap my head around is how cheap the petrol is. Diesels don't exist over here. That's for the 18-wheeler trucks. I've got a 3.5 4x4, heavy as hell, and a full tank on it is £30. That's nearly 70% less of what the price is in London. But the cheapest thing here is labor work. Fixing cars, renovating houses, renovating shops, building it from the ground up, whatever it is. Anything that requires 2 hands to fix is pennies over here. As for food, grocery shopping is as cheap as you want it to be. If you start picking up all the imported European stuff, then obviously it's going to add up. But you can get the exact same thing with the local brands and it's going to be way cheaper. If you like eating out, then in simple terms, it's basically just half of what Europe is, whether that's takeaway or eating in a fancy restaurant. One thing that I personally love is that when I order my takeaway, I don't have to get out of the car. I pull up outside the shop, they bring me the menu, they go and make the food, they bring it back to my car, I pay for it, and I go home. It's the small things in life that matter. I go to the gym quite a lot, and the one thing that I do love is that everything's segregated. Men and men's, ladies and ladies. It's not like UK where everyone's got everything hanging out. My gym's about 5 minutes away and it's £10 per month and it's got everything. Humongous. So I want to share a little story with you. The other day I went outside, went out for a little drive, just to clear my mind and detox from work. And I was just cruising around the neighborhoods. And as I was driving, I started noticing there was a lot of kids outside just playing. And it was so refreshing to see because I don't see that sort of stuff in London. Kids riding their bikes, playing football together, laughing together, just overall having a good time outside. And the parents here are not concerned that someone's going to try and kidnap their kids or do anything bad to them. Just completely free without a care in the world. And that feeling is priceless. And that's how it should be. No worries about robberies, no worries about drugs. Just a clear state of mind in peace and tranquility. And that's one thing that I do love and I do appreciate about this country. Everything is just safe. I can leave my keys in the car and my car ain't going nowhere. Okay, so let's address the economy. What's the economy like over here? Let's just say Oman is silently building itself up, and it is building itself up fast. I already know that within the next 10 years, Europe and Western civilization is finished. And after these Western civilization crumble, which they already are, these Gulf countries are going to dominate. Remember when Dubai was on the come up and no one took it seriously, and now it's just too expensive and too popular to invest in? Are you seeing the growth of Saudi, in the growth of Qatar? Are you seeing in the direction that they're heading in? Do you think this is a coincidence? While Europe is concerned with gender equality and pronouns, these guys are putting their money where their mouth is and going hard. Their shopping centers are huge, their houses are huge, the cities are modern, all the big brands are here, the country's vision is out of this world, and they know that their time is coming soon. So in terms of investing and making money, it was one of the main reasons why I came here also. And sure enough, it has not let me down. It's still up and coming, and I'm just seeing so much opportunity around me, and I'm just seeing the country flourish. And that's one thing that I truly love about this country as well. So we all know how ridiculously expensive houses in Europe are. And just taking my word when I say it's cheaper isn't good enough for you. That's why I've made this video especially for you, so that you can see with your own eyes what the properties look like and how much they actually cost. Make sure you hit subscribe too.